For those of you who've never seen the TV show Wipeout, it's played like this. They have a couple dozen contestants go through a qualifier, and then the 12 contestants with the lowest times to complete that qualifier move on to the next round. After that, the 12 contestants will be dwindled down to 4, with 2 more elimination games. Then those 4 contestants will compete to try and get the best time in the final obstacle challenge that they call the Wipeout Zone. And the one with the best time wins the game and the money. Now, Wipeout the game is played differently. There are only 4 people playing, even if you're playing alone, as it's always a 4-player game, with the CPU taking over the spots that don't have human players. Each of the players gets 3 tries to get past the obstacles, and if they don't make it, they'll just give you the maximum amount of time that's allowed for your difficulty level. No matter what your time is, you'll never be eliminated from the game. The time is only a gauge of what time advantage you're going to get in the Wipeout Zone. They still play the elimination games though, but this time it only adds to the time that you've racked up on the qualifier rounds. And the one who has the lowest time gets 30 seconds taken off their time in the Wipeout Zone. The second lowest gets 20 seconds, and the third lowest gets 10 seconds. And the one who has the worst time gets no advantage at all. The title is narrated throughout the entire game by the actual hosts of the Wipeout TV show. Now, the first thing to do in the game is to pick out a character you're going to play with. As you can see, you can pick from small, medium, or large, or special. Those special characters are the hosts themselves, if you really want to play as them. All the people that you choose from have different personalities. They'll also have different stats in speed and stamina. However, I never really found any difference between them. Sure, some of them were a bit faster, but in a game that deals with moving with purpose, and not necessarily about speed, the differences really don't matter. There are 3 difficulty levels: easy, challenging, and extreme. Easy is normally just the regular games, but with the 2 other difficulty levels, they usually added in a harder game, or just added more to the regular games you played. Now, the qualifier and Wipeout rounds are played section to section, which was a bit annoying. See, now those rounds had 5 sections to go through, and having to wait for the computer's turn each time. It would have been more fun if they just let you play the whole thing, and then let the computer players have their try at it. I mean, they don't wait between sections in the TV show. They have the contestants go all the way through it. Why not do that in the game as well? Now, you can skip the computer's turn, so you don't have to watch it if you don't want to, which I thought was really cool. But if you do choose to watch them, you and the other players can shoot balls at them to trip them up. It was really fun to watch the players wipe out, because it often looked really painful. The controls themselves were simple to use. Normally it was just A to jump and use the nunchuck to move, but the way the characters moved and controlled on the screen didn't feel real at all. Once a person fell or got hit by an obstacle, they would go limp and would flail all around like a rag doll. It was ridiculously unrealistic. The Wipeout Zone was definitely the harder of the obstacle competitions, but it also had some of the most boring obstacles to conquer. They were so simple, like jumping over a barrel or jumping on trampolines or avoiding things that would knock you down. It wasn't as creative as the other games, which was a shame. The whole game would take you about 20 minutes to play and beat. When you finish a game, you unlock new characters, or clothes so you can replay the game again, but with a new option or character. So there is some replay factor, but after a while it feels a little stale, because the games don't really change much, even at the harder difficulty levels. Now, there is also a challenge mode, which will let you play the obstacle course without the 3 other players, to see how fast you can go through it. And unlike the real game, you get unlimited lives to finish the course. Wipeout the game is fun, for a while. My main problem is the obstacles you have to maneuver through, as they would get old fast. It would be different if the obstacles changed completely from game to game, and they also had dozens and dozens to change out the gameplay each time. But they don't have that. They only have about 10 games that they would tweak and change, so it all feels the same, which is unfortunate. Since the TV show had more games, the publishers could have used to change up the action. Now, if you're looking for a fun little game for the weekend, this game is worth a rent, but not a buy.